Hello everyone, my name is Ash. Let's talk Dragon Age. Last week, I was at the Bioware Base at PAX East, checking out almost all of the panels. Most of what I found can be found at my blog at ladyinsanity.com/dragonage, but because videos are so fun, let's address all the information you want to know about Dragon Age Inquisition. Before we start, there is no new information regarding the next Mass Effect. The developers were very tight-lipped about any question regarding the new game, but we may see something new at E3 or at the EA conference in June. As we all know, Dragon Age Inquisition runs on the Frostbite engine, had by the designers to fit the RPG style we are familiar with in Origins and 2, which used the former Eclipse engine. Inquisition's development stands on three principles: provide area variety, make the area significant, and rediscover discovery. The devs vividly remember the feedback from the previous games, especially DA2, and are working on making the world so engaging that you become lost in it. Based on internal data tracking and recent QA and playtests, you most likely will not find every place on your first playthrough. Both man-made and natural structures are scattered across the landscape. Additionally, players will not be informed about all of the locations they can explore, and will be left to decide on their own whether a location is worth visiting. To explore certain locations may involve a terrible risk, but the prize. Regarding ecosystem, Thedas and its lands will be directly affected by the Inquisitor's decisions, not only on a storyline scale, but reacting to decisions like if the Inquisitor poaches an entire area of its wildlife. If you wipe out a certain creature in an area, said creature's population will progressively decrease, with the possibility of it becoming extinct within that area. Be mindful where you hunt. The environments you explore will range in a variety of geographical types, including, but not limited to, desert ruins, coastlines with steep hills, and more. While day and night is not on a dynamic system, weather is, and has its own system and will impact the area. In order to find out more about the world around the Inquisitor, scouts are the primary source of information. Between finding bases to conquer and pointing out new points of interest like caves and ruins, they will help the Inquisition expand. And furthering your adventuring spirit, fast travel is currently instantaneous. While it's being tested internally whether to have an event-interrupting system similar to Origins, where enemies can ambush your party or NPCs find you along the road, fast travel stands now as a simple switch to different areas. Bioware made a conscious decision to make travel between regions easier in order to allow scripted events, like arriving at a base camp or stronghold, easier for the storyline's progression. The regions themselves are vast and wide, so players have more time to do what they want. The Fade was lightly described during the panels. While players have the option of entering the Fade, experience within the realm is limited and will not be available to freely visit at any time. At the very least, we do know that Inquisitor is one of the very few capable of closing the rifts caused by the tear in the veil. Regarding other areas the player can explore, the Highlands is a new revealed location, a snowy place within the mountains, littered with red crystals. The Red Templars inhabit this region and have war camps throughout, with their base protected in the pack. The war camp is a great support for the Red Templar faction, and conquering this area will be great, not only for strengthening the Inquisition, but also reducing the Red Templar assets. Considered a Tier 2 encounter, the Inquisition will need to follow a series of steps in order to climb the mountain and take the location from the Templars. The developers say this scripted, somewhat linear encounter will involve pushing through the enemy and taking land one step at a time. On creatures, both dragons and the newly announced Behemoth were detailed in Inquisition. Dragon fights are scripted specifically for the region they exist in. Their presence is controlled by a certain number of conditions, including but not limited to the Inquisitor's location, health, in-combat and out-combat status. Each fight will be a challenge, even more so for melee-specific characters since dragons are smart enough to avoid direct contact. Taking on a dragon is its own quest, as it requires a lot of preparation and geared companions. The Behemoth is a red creature that runs with the Red Templars. It has the ability to affect the environment directly around it. It's assumed to have melee-specific abilities, as it's mentioned to be supported by archers and other soldiers. Destroying a specific faction's soldiers will help the Inquisitor be more capable of defeating that faction in the future. But good luck defeating the Behemoth, as it will take careful strategy not to get killed. Inquisition will begin not too long after Varric and Cassandra's parting in Kirkwall. The Inquisition itself will be handling a conspiracy raised by a hidden antagonist, being left as the sole survivor of a catastrophic event. The Inquisitor, him or herself, will have extremely unique abilities such as closing the rifts and be put in a position of power. Beyond the Inquisition itself, the game will tie in previous history from other sources in the Dragon Age franchise. At least one character from the book Dragon Age Asunder will be present in the next game. Also, different elements and at least one character from the Masked Empire will be present not only in the next game, but in the Highlands, where the Red Templars are. The developers say that reading other sources like the books and comics will offer more rewarding context for players to enjoy Inquisition. As far as other characters we know returning, Behemoth will most likely appear at some point in the near future. Additionally, player characters, aka the Warden and Hawk, also have a quoted solid possibility of returning. At the very least, both the Warden and Hawk's disappearances will be addressed in the next game. For other characters, the developers have made it clear that if former companions or characters from the previous games return, they want to use said characters in a significant, meaningful way. As I mentioned in my original post, they will avoid having insignificant, small cameos where the characters barely interact. The following names are some of the characters from past games that are mentioned or included in Dragon Age Inquisition: Morrigan, Alistair Theron, Cassandra Pendergast, Varric Tethris, Cullen, and briefly mentioned, Dagna. As far as book and comic related characters, Empress Celine and Duke Gaspard de Chalon will be featured, though we do not know whether they will make a physical appearance. As far as romance is concerned, two characters are confirmed as love interests: Cullen, the Troubled Templar from Origins in 2, and Cassandra Pendergast, hero of Relay, Seeker of Truth, Right-Hand Divine, and many other things. While Cassandra is confirmed as a companion, Cullen is not, and the developers are tight-lipped about his involvement in Inquisition, whether as just an NPC or a companion. This leads to two situations. One, he is the third warrior companion, or two, he is an NPC we can have a relationship with, similar to Samantha Traynor or Steve Cortez of Mass Effect 3. Cullen and Cassandra are only the first romances to be confirmed for Inquisition, and surely we will see more options to come. I'd like to take a quick moment to clear up the situation regarding my first post on romances in Inquisition, as well as not only one but two clarification posts that I had to make. So you may already know the situation from Twitter, but here's the gist for everyone else. Some news sites have misinterpreted my blog post from PAX, sourcing me and claiming that Bioware has confirmed 3 types of relationships like affection / humor / rivalry, as well as the ability to hate your love interest. Let me state that this is not the case, and what they are claiming is incorrect. All of it is wrong and out of context. Thankfully, a few sites have changed and amended their statements to my clarifications from the morning after the panel, as well as my second address on the issue. However, there are many others who still have the wrong information up. Please ignore these statements as they are incorrect. Frankly put, when it comes down to news about romance, it's a thing in Inquisition, and we'll be getting a lot of love in this fall. Dragonage Keep is the free web-based feature that allows players to generate their world and game choices for import to Inquisition. The panels barely talked about the logistics behind Keep, as it is still in closed beta, but in the future they will open it up for other players who previously applied to the beta last year. However, something specific said during the panels is that Keep will, quote, allow you to shape and share your experiences. Bioware is happy with Keep as it builds confidence for making future games that do not force the player to revisit each individual game. More Keep information will be released this year. Looking into the future, new Dragon Age information will definitely come out at E3 in June, most likely during the EA conference that prefaces the official E3 show. Mike Laidlaw said the following: "If we do our job, you'll tell us in 6 months." This is a first hint at a release date, which would place Inquisition hitting stores in October. This falls in line with a fall 2014 date, but nothing has been truly confirmed yet. But the first indicator of its release is welcome news. That's the end of everything new by BioWare from PAX East. More details I missed here can be found on my blog at ladyinsanity.com/dragonage, not just featuring Dragonage but other topics including Mass Effect and BioWare. Thank you for watching. If you have a positive or negative response, please leave it in the box below. If you have a question, post it and I will do my best to answer. Links are in the description. Take care everyone, I will see you next time.